call this meeting to order. It's scheduled for 10 o'clock. So the meeting is now in session. First of all, I want to do a couple of comments. And I have to mention the fire. Can't ignore that. That's happened since our last meeting. But I want to point out that, and it has been a couple of times, but the staff did a tremendous job responding to that fire, taking care of the residents in the R wing and getting them situated in a place where they could be comfortable. And a lot of the staff stayed all night. Then I know a couple went home to shower and shave, but they came back the next day. It worked pretty well because it was pretty seamless for the rest of the community. Our normal activities were pretty seamless. It didn't almost like it didn't happen. So the staff did a great job responding to that event. Also, we've had some air conditioning problems. And it's not Regency Oak's fault. It's the Duke Energy electrical supply was out of balance in their three-phase service. They lost a phase, and that burned out some of our electrical equipment. And as was mentioned by Brent, we had a spare pump so that we could get air conditioning at least to the apartments. And the hallways were a little warm, but the apartments were comfortable. And again, staff worked a lot of hours getting all the residents' computers, all the thermostats reset so the AC could work. So, I mean, there's another thing that if you weren't involved, you didn't see them, but there was a lot of work done by staff, and they did a good job. Now, our board has been really working hard this first 6 months, 7 months. Sometimes it may not appear to be working that much, but they have, and sometimes we come up with advice, and because we are only an advisory group, we don't have our advice taken every time. So it doesn't seem like we're helping out, but we are. And we're passing along the information that you guys feel is necessary. And right now, we're gonna have more work because it's budget season. The 2023 budget season has started. And we're gonna have a subcommittee of the board meeting with management as we go through the budget process. It starts now and has to be completed by September to submit to LCS, which goes to Health Peak, and then hopefully your budget is approved by November 1st, I believe. So we've got some more work ahead of us. Now, he's pacing in the back. We're gonna have Jody come out and provide us details of the breakfast and lunch schedule that wasn't available yesterday at Tuesday Talk. Because again, the dining committee met right after Tuesday Talk to straighten some things out.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chris. Good afternoon, good morning, everybody. What I have to talk about today is the option that we have to be able to provide you with breakfast and lunch 6 days a week, and also have a brunch on the 7th day, okay, which is a breakfast as well. We had a special meeting yesterday with the dining committee to discuss how this was possible. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are aware, Brant's made it clear that we do have some staffing issues. It's been ongoing. We're able to provide our dining rooms and keep you all fed with some quality food and service. But unfortunately, we're not able to place employees down there for breakfast and lunch in the pub, okay? So I know that some people are disappointed, but I'm here to talk about the positive reasons why, because if we take our Lisa, who's absolutely incredible, who absolutely loves what she does here, and we put her down in the pub, it's gonna put a strain on our department, okay? So, and Jerry's gonna be down there doing dinner. Now, as of August 1st, what we're going to do is offer breakfast and lunch. in the north dining room. The breakfast will be from 8 to 11, and the lunch will be from noon to 2. These are the same hours that it's always been, so it's not going to be confusing for you. Breakfast is available 6 days a week with a 7-day brunch on Sunday. We're going to continue to have coffee in the breezeway as well. We want to make sure that people that enjoy socializing in the breezeway can still enjoy that. You're welcome, thank you. But the other wonderful, and hold on to your questions for 1 second. The other positive thing is we're also going to offer coffee in the north. So let's just say we have inclement weather. You want to go up to the north, have a cup of coffee, sit down, look at a beautiful view of the courtyard. That's a beautiful option. You can sit with your friends and socialize, and I think that's another positive, okay? We were discussing, as we have always, looking into what's best for you, but what's also going to be, possible for us. When you were having breakfast and lunch in the pub, you had to go to the front and order your meal, and then it was brought to you. We've discussed this with Lisa, and she's adamant that she wants to do tableside service. She said that she is fully capable of doing it, and she wants to make sure that you get the best service possible. So we're going to go ahead and let Lisa give you table service, so you can sit, have your breakfast, and have it delivered to you every morning. Beer and wine will still be available for purchase, which is wonderful. If you're paying for your meal, if you come up for lunch or you come up for breakfast and you're sitting at the table and you decide, okay, well, I'm going to pay for a sandwich or whatever, you may share it. You may share it if you're paying for it. If it's on the meal plan, we don't allow that. So, I just want you to make it clear about that. This is temporary. It's temporary due to staffing problems. Everything's under review. As with the reservations, which I see every day is working very well. We have a lot of satisfied people. We have 80% of our community making reservations, and they're very happy with the results. I personally see it in the kitchen, and I never see more than 5 or 6 tickets up at a time. I don't know anything about having any issues with service. You will be seeing a lot more of me in the dining rooms, however, because I want to make sure that I get your feedback, positive or negative. But understand that I'm only here, my purpose here is to see that we can provide you with the breakfast and the lunch that we can. If we don't do it in the north, then we're not going to be able to do it. And I think it's a shame. And as I said, this is temporary. We're going to review this down the road. You may decide that, hey, I don't want to change it. I love the way it is. I enjoy it. And that'll be your choice too. So the other issues, the other positive things, let me see if I just can find my note, I'm sorry, no, that's it. I think it's pretty positive. I hope you all just support us and understand that you're going to have a wonderful breakfast, wonderful lunch. It's just something that we need to do right now as a community to come together to just help dining services and help my team to be successful and to give you the service that you deserve. Thank you. Yes.
Could you clarify the coffee in the morning? Brant said yesterday at a meeting that it was going to be available in both dining rooms, not in the...
Okay, so that's everything is open. If that's something we want to do, it's not a big deal. The reason why we kept it in the breezeway is we've had it there for so long, and what we were going to do is we were also going to provide it in the south host station area. I guess we can do that. It doesn't matter. It's not a big deal, but the reason why I think it would be redundant, because you're going to take coffee and then you're going to come down to the breezeway, you're going to take it to your room. So it's something that, if that's what a lot of people want to do, then we'll do it. I don't want to waste coffee and have it sitting there for somebody to have 2 cups of coffee. And I don't want to sound terrible or cheap, but I don't want to waste either. So we just want to make sure that it's a majority that wants to do it, and then we'll be more than happy to accommodate you.
I'm sure you have seen lots and lots of people in the breezeway. It's a great place for people north and south to get together.
Yes.
They really want it in the breezeway. breezeway, I
Yes.
don't care about.
It will be, it will always be there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't know what the charges are going to be for lunch, but say you have down there a cup of soup for $2.50 like you used to do, or maybe it's gone up now for $3. Is it possible that we could take that home, come at noon and take, I buy it.
No,
Charge
it's,
whatever's on the thing.
no, that's falls under the to-go category.
Yeah.
So, you know, as I said, I really want to focus on the positive of it. All the small details, really, we're still gonna work out certain details that are going to be, you know, you're gonna have a lot of questions about how we're gonna be doing things and how things are gonna be presented to you. So, I'd like to save any of the financial decisions to Brant and Ricky, because I'm not in that position. My position here is to offer you the service and make sure that your requests are honored and that you're respected as residents here.
Can you talk about that you have to order from just one menu? You can't have stuff off the dinner menu
Yes.
and off the lunch
So there'll be
menu?
two menus presented to you. One menu will be our normal lunch menu that also has dinner on it, and then you'll have the option to ask for the menu for the pub menu. And then you could order off of either or. But not both. We're not, it would be confusing if you're ordering from here and from there. That menu's structured differently.
Thank you.
Any more? All right, yes.
I just wanted to say that Sandy and I had the privilege of having the first bistro dinner yesterday,
Mhm.
and the steak was excellent.
Thank you.
The service was excellent.
Thank you.
It was the best meal I've had in 3.5 years I've lived here.
Thank you. The other thing I want to mention about that, and this is probably the final thing, is we're using our reservations. We have 30 to 40 every night. Take advantage of it, folks. Go down, enjoy it. It's so relaxing. It's just the food, the presentation that we're working on. We went through a whole case of pork chops already, so I have 2 more upstairs. And they're very good. And the sauces now, also understand too, I have a printout every day of who orders what, how much, and how many reservations. I go through this every day so I can monitor what's a popular item and what's not so popular. I made those crab cakes myself, by the way, and we're going to continue to do everything from scratch. But the thing I want to stress is that that menu will change. We're not going to keep things on there that you folks are not happy with. So if it's something like the Chilean sea bass, we'll always have a fish. Maybe we're going to go to Bronzino, or we're going to go to, you know, any other fish, especially on availability, because we're going to be struggling with some certain fish. But we will have the freshest fish and the finest beef that we can get, and I want you to understand that. And it's on your meal plan, so it's a wonderful. Take advantage of it.
Thank you.
Thank you. You would have been in big trouble. Good night, folks.
Okay, we'll go on to the business part of the meeting. Do I hear a motion to accept the minutes as posted?
I approve.
Okay.
We have a motion to, is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded, we accept the minutes as posted. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Good, then motion passed. Now, the fun part of the meeting. Betty, would you come up here, please?
It always works like that. I'm easily distracted.
Our unsung hero award this meeting is Betty E. You've been a resident here for
No,
7 years.
Yes.
And right from the start, she was a participant in the Solanaires. And then she was VP, Vice President, and then President. Then she was back to VP again. I don't know what you did as President, but they got
No,
demoted.
it wasn't willingly.
And I was wondering why they demoted you.
No, that was fine.
And Betty even wrote a couple of plays. And as she describes it, it was a walkout of success. Everybody walked out. And then the pandemic hit and interrupted everything. But as a consummate entertainer, she's participated in a few activities not affected by the pandemic. And we thank you for your service in our community.
Thank you.
And we have a certificate of appreciation.
Wow.
I think they want a picture.
Yes.
Oh, gee.
You've been pictured.
You have enough film in the camera? No?
Yeah.
Thank you, Betty. And in appreciation, we've got the charcuterie board at the Brick and Vine for 2.
Wow.
For the gift certificate.
Thank you.
Would you want to make any comments?
Sure, very
Oh,
briefly.
yeah, an entertainer not making comments, right?
I'm never at a loss for words, but I really want to thank all the people who encouraged me to start these activities, and all the people who helped me when I was doing all this stuff. And I can't name names or this meeting would be extremely long, but I appreciate your help, and I think Regency Oaks has the nicest people I've ever met. And I know we have a lot of challenges right now, but I still think Regency Oaks is absolutely the best place to live. And thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow.
Now we'll start with the committee reports for the second quarter. And we'll start with Robin. And before she starts talking, as many of you probably know, she has resigned from the board effective August 1st. We had to make her make this report. But we want to thank Robin for all the hard work she's done on the board. She's done a fantastic job, and she will be missed. And we'll let you start with your last report. Thank you, Robin. It should be on.
Hello?
Yes.
Well, I was going to make that part of my farewell presentation, but that's okay, and I appreciate it, Chris. It's been my honor to chair and to serve with a talented and dedicated group of folks who make up the Employee Gift Fund Committee. They are Judy Diver, Eleanor Fenn, Andrea Hagner, Norma Jean Infante, Carolyn Montgomery, Alice Quattromani, and Ann Tanner. Ladies, we all thank you. Residents, thank you. Associates, thank you. Your efforts and your passion are so appreciated. So what has the Gift Fund Committee done in the last 90 days? It's mostly been in the background, but it's been going on. We have continually supported the Extraordinary Impressions program by using and encouraging you to use your Extraordinary Impression cards. I hope you do. I can tell you, and if anybody's interested, I'll tell you later, of four separate incidences, in my case, that occurred this week, that if I had been out there in that community, out there, you know where I mean. And any of these things that happened to me, I'd have been in big trouble. And that is why we're here, and that's why our associates are here, and why it's why it's such an honor to work on this particular committee. Anyway, the second thing we did is we have written the first draft of a charter for the Employee Gift Fund. This has never been done before. Now, we have something that resembles a charter that comes out the first of each year that describes what we're doing and how we're going to do it and who's going to do what to who, when. That's not a charter. That's not an official document, and we have created that. First draft has been approved worked on by a subcommittee of our group, and As soon as the tax guy gets back, we'll be able to get final approval on it. So that was done with the help of many members of the community and with the tax advisor involved. Let's see. In January, we reconfirmed and have continued to follow the informal agreement between the scholarship fund and the gift fund, which is that most of the emphasis on marketing and talking to everybody about it takes place half a year. The first half of the year, it has to do with the scholarship fund. The second half of the year, it has to do with the gift fund. And so we're just rolling into our season, as it were, on that. And you're going to start, and have started to see as of June, some of our first emphasis kinds of pieces. Articles from Betty, a guest editor, an author for always for the employee gift fund, and flyers and this and that. You'll see more. Stay tuned. Okay. And lastly, in May, LCS directed us to reevaluate how we handle our money, particularly as it relates to taxes, because they're concerned that with tightening economies and so forth and so on, that there might be some vulnerability, some exposure tax-wise to either the associates who receive the money or to those of us who sign the checks, neither of which is acceptable to anybody who's on the gift fund. So we got a tax advisor involved. He's made his recommendations. We have evaluated those recommendations. We have written up and presented those recommendations back up to Brant, and that's where it sits. It's going to be worked on further when the tax guy comes back, 1st of August, and I won't be leading that charge on behalf of the gift fund, but Chris will, or whoever is in the position to speak for the gift fund and for you. In my over 6 years being here, I've served on many committees. You've seen me with many hats on my head. Some of which cross the many lines and have nothing really to do much with committees. Andrea and I have worked very hard on the voter registration and getting the vote out. And if you were around in 2020, you know what this community can do when we get behind something like that. That was a community effort. I've shared my passion for recycling and doing that with all of you. Okay, and I hope to continue to contribute, but not in a leadership role. It's time for me to step aside and put a healthier, stronger, fresher set of eyes, more persuasive set of eyes on the issues that we face from a leadership position. Thank you for your support, and I'm so glad I'm here with you. Thank you.
Andrea?
No, it's just to go to the podium. I just sort of lean on you all as I go by.
I was offered a choice. So,
All right, so this is the Activities Committee, which has been active. Oh, I'm sorry. Totally forgot about this thing. Okay, the Activities Committee has been fairly active this year. Our committee members are Mary Ellen Bader, Mary Ellen Gardner, Ann Tanner, Rita Singer, Judy Collins, Betty Lou McKay, Betty E. Gray, Millie Diaz, Mike Murphy, Bill Moscardini, Lorraine Moscardini. Ginger serves as our director, and Samantha as her assistant. We've got a big committee because we're representing all the different sub-communities across things. I'm trying to make sure everybody has input if they want it. And what we've done mainly this year is to make sure the regular activities have stayed in place despite all the upheavals. And we've encouraged groups to start new ones, mainly small groups. We've got our coloring group, for example, the caregivers group, which we're supporting by giving the caregivers a caregiver, so that they can feel free to come and meet. We've got the night owls. These different groups that have decided that they've got even more that they want to add, and this has been great. We do movie nights, we do music nights. Ginger had put out a suggestion box, and the suggestion box means everybody can suggest something they think is worth doing, and we try and get it done. Betty, for example, just came up and said, can we get Florida Youth Ranch in here for a donation day? So, she'll do it. These are the kinds of things that we've been doing. We also done some more structured things. The Mascardinis have set up the My Life Experiences program, which I think everybody is starting to enjoy. We had Joe Donnelly come in first, Frank Twait came in next. In another 10 days, no, 7 days, we will have Martin Schachter is going to speak on his life experiences. We've got all kinds of things like that lined up. And we've also been in contact with the Historical Society. We thought it would be nice to find out more about Clearwater. So we had a speaker come in and talk about the first families of Clearwater, how far we go back, and into the first English-speaking settlements. And that was really interesting. This Friday, we're going to have a talk about Skyway Bridge and its impact on the area when it was and when it wasn't there. So, these are the kind of things we've been doing. We are always looking for new ideas. We may not be able to get to them right away because we've got space problems, but we'll work on it. So let us know if there's something you want us to do and we'll try and do it, okay?
Thank you, Chris. Morning, all. Morning. Good morning. I'm Tony Quattromani, Chair of the Technology and Communication Equipment Committee. My committee members, Lloyd Bauer, Candy Mueller, Gail Loken, Bill Snyder, Mike Murphy, Robin Millette, and I have a new member. I want to talk about that first. I looked at all the committees, and every committee had a member of the staff, of the management staff, as a regular attendee to the committee, except the Technology and Communication Equipment Committee. I keep on calling it equipment. So I went and talked to Brent Snyder, our executive director, and I said, I don't have anybody representing the management, and we need to have management because lots of what we want to do will involve management. He said, when do you meet? I told him, he said, I can't meet that time. If you change it, I'll be your representative. So we changed our meeting to Monday afternoon, on second Monday afternoon. And Brent has attended the last two, and it's really been good because we're getting to know more about what his plans are, and hopefully we're helping to shape some of those plans. So Brent, he's coming to the meeting. He's about to hire, and he keeps saying this, so I'm pushing him. He's going to hire an IT concierge. So if he does, that person will come to our meeting, but I still want Brent to come. And then the lady, I think her name is Hope, that sits in the grand lobby on Monday mornings.
D.
Yep.
D is her name.
Yeah, what's her name?
D.
D, okay, I don't know where I got Hope, but hopefully D.
Oh, there you go.
Hopefully D will come to the meetings. So I think that's been a good addition. We've been publishing articles in the Oaks thanks to Joanna. And some of these ideas have come from the residents. I was talking to someone and he is vision impaired, and he told me about an application. So I asked one of the committee, Candy Mueller, looked into it, wrote an article, and we put it, you might have seen it in the Oaks a few weeks ago. It's a fantastic thing. Unfortunately, it only works on the iPhone, and it's free. We think there's one that's available for the Android at a cost, but it helps vision impaired people it'll read literally anything. You put the phone over it and it reads it to the person. It will look at people and the person can say, I'm now looking at Don Infante, and it'll tag that, and every time the person in vision impaired focuses on Don, it'll say, this is Don Infante again. Now, the person that showed me how this worked, she had her phone up and she's pointing at me. And I wondered what was going on, and all of a sudden she turned around and she said, here. And here is my picture on the phone, and it said, you are looking at a 73-year-old man. That made me feel good because I'm 83. So that's a good one. Just yesterday, another resident came up to me, and he said, you know, when we die, we have wills, and we have executors, and we do all kinds of things to carry on our whatever our state is. But there's one problem, and it's a serious one, and we're going to start looking into it. How do you pass on your digital records? Those of you who are computer savvy probably have a lot of your records on the PC or in your phone, and when you die, what happens to them? So we're going to do some research. As a minimum, have an article in the Oaks. Maybe we can find somebody that's smart enough to be able to talk about it, because there are a lot of tools out there. For example, I have a password manager. I have probably 60 or 70 passwords on my phone and on my PC. But I also have my daughter that has access to that. So if I die, it immediately goes to my daughter, and she has access to all of the passwords and all the records. She'll be the executor, I hope. Okay. Assistance to the residents. This has always been a problem. We posted articles, we've asked for information, what people want to hear, and we don't get much response. We do get phone calls. I get a lot of phone calls, and I'm sure some of the other tech committee members get phone calls for one-on-one assistance, which we're happy to give. But the problem is, I may not be available when you are available, and I may not know anything about whatever you're asking me about, so I have to go find somebody. I recall not too long ago, I got a call from somebody who was having trouble with their iPad. So I got the committee, I recommended to one of the committee members, and he said, okay, I'll take care of it, and I'll go and speak to that person. It took 6 weeks for the two of them to get together. Doctor's appointments, schedules, didn't feel like doing it today. So it's not a fast result. We're going to experiment with the training lab. We'll publish it through the Oaks, and we'll also have a sign-up sheet, and we'll try it. What we're trying to figure out is what should be the first subject in the lab, and how do we want to do it. We'll eventually get to do that. So we ask you to bear with us. Keep calling, keep talking to us, talk to anybody on the committee. Phone numbers are on the bulletin boards. Otherwise, and you can always find them in the directory. So, thank you, and we look forward to continue to work with you.
Thank you, Chris. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I am Don Hamilton, and I am Chair of the Buildings and Grounds Committee, whose members are Tony Quattromani, Gene Beagles, Scott Davis, Don Graham, Ed Hawks, Chris Swanson, Lou Weislager, Mike White, and the important staff members, Darwin Perez, Corey Schultz, who does the landscaping, and we got a new member yesterday, Wanda Newman. She's the environmental service director that's in charge of housekeeping. And housekeeping is part of buildings and grounds. Wanda doesn't know that yet. She'll fit right in though. She's got lots of enthusiasm. Buildings and grounds has had a difficult time. There's been a lot of turnover in the maintenance staff. I know that all of us have had work orders in, and the work orders have lasted for, it seems like a long time. But there's been a lot of turnover. Unfortunately for the maintenance people, they can find a new job very quickly and they're quick to move on, and then we have to go through the process of replacing those people, and it does take time. We ask your patience, but please stay in touch with buildings and grounds. We have a session every Friday where if you've got a problem, you can come down and talk with a member of the staff. Sometimes it's Mike, or sometimes it's Carla, but they do have a person available every Friday at 10 o'clock that will listen to your problem, take notes, and hopefully get it solved quickly. Buildings and Grounds studied 2 suggested walking projects on the property. One was the addition of a special mediation path through an area of the central grounds, as well as a separate walking path at the side of Regency Oaks Boulevard. When the boulevard is repaved in 5 segments in future years in order to protect the walkers. Those of you use the Regency Oaks Boulevard faithfully, but you know when the traffic is changing, when the shifts are changing, it's a dangerous path to go. And we have thought very hard and about whether we should have a separate walking path that is separated from the roadway. The committee has been very vociferous on that, and they think that that is one way we should go, is to have a separate path. We can't go all the way around the property, but we can go about 3/4 of the way around the property. So that's going to be what we're going to hopefully recommend our money over a 5-year period to build a separate 5-foot wide walking path around as much of the property that we can. Another evaluated project was a mural to be added as decor to the new town hall exterior on a blank wall. The residents who would be viewing the painted mural were not in favor of such a project for Regency Oaks versus the previous high standards of the appearance of the existing property. The planned painting decor for the new building is yet to be shared with the community, so we don't know what they're going to have in the way of colorful plantings and so on to enhance the new committee, the new town hall building. So it's one of those things we're going to be reporting on, and you're going to be interested in, and hopefully we'll have the high standard of appearance of our properties will continue. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Margaret Hendry, and I'm chairman of the dining committee. I want to thank the members of the committee. It's been a challenging, interesting year for dining, And thank you for all the emergency meetings we've had. I'd like to thank Bobby Belcher, Brenda Jones, Pam Dean Marino, Edie James, Judy Studebaker, Linda Rudiger, Tammy Maurice, and Emilio Petty. Our staff, people that come are Ricky Bacher, Phil Sertz, and Johnny Hubbs. We started the one meal a day plan, and the trial period goes till October 1st. Started reservations in the dining room, the pub, special events like gourmet. The gourmet new series has started. Enchanted Evening at Freedom Plaza in Sun City went well. Grill on the Breezeway, Bella Bro Pizza were a success. It's too hot right now, we'll go back to that soon. Cooler weather. Had a wonderful Easter dinner, Mother's Day and Father's Day. Fun picnics indoors for Memorial Day and 4th of July. Had a fantastic gastropub menu presented, and it is now open. LCS gave an award to Dining Services for recognition for an outstanding program. We're the only community to have a variety of dining venues, such as Grill on the Breezeway, Bella Row Pizza, Enchanted Evening, Gourmet Dinner, Chef's Table, and Wine and Food Pairing, just to name a few. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Judy Studebaker. I chair the Roro Sales and Marketing Committee. Members of the committee are Jim Bader, Bobby Belcher, Bill DiMarino, Eleanor Finn, Chet James, Carolyn Montgomery, Ed Newton, Ann Siraj, and Perry Goodbar, Director of Sales and Marketing. There were 13 sales on a budget of 13 during the second quarter. And to try to enhance the move-in experience of new residents, in addition to the department manager buddies, we now have ambassador guides who will be assigned to each new resident to work with them for 4 to 6 weeks to be sure that they know where everything is and how to do most of the stuff around here. A manager simply don't have the time to do that. The new welcome tables seem to be working well in both dining rooms, and Ruth Guth's friendship table is still very successful on Friday nights. The unveiling of the Signature Club is scheduled for July 26th at the marketing office. A fee of $500 per person grants each prospect once a quarter attendance at a food and beverage event, a monthly activity participation, and priority status on upcoming available apartments. In helping prospects make a decision to move to Regency Oaks, the committee suggested that sales counselors call a member of the Sales and Marketing Committee, asking them to make a telephone call to people they think are close to making that decision, to encourage them to make that decision earlier rather than later. Hopefully this will be very helpful. All in all, we think we had a very productive second quarter.
As a member of this committee and who looks at the brick wall, I can guarantee you there'll be no paintings on the wall. I've already formed a night patrol group. As soon as something's painting, it will be smeared. I'm Lou Weisvogel, chairman of the Finance Committee. Our committee monitors the revenues and expenditures of the operation of Regency Oaks. The committee consists of Bobby Belcher, Marie Bishop, Fred Green, Don Hamilton, Bill Muscadini, Ed Newton, C.L. Wilmot, and our advisor in contract with management is Sherry Scheitzer. The committee has reviewed the monthly, quarterly, and executive printouts from management and summaries to date for the fiscal year 2022 on the operation of Regency Oaks. As of this date, as you know, accountants, a few debts here, a few credits there, is within budget and is in good financial position.
Can you hold the mic up?
I certainly will, thank you. Committee plans to interface with management, as Chris talked about. Three of us, Chris, myself, and Fred Green, will be meeting with management to prepare the budget for fiscal year 2023 and how it will impact increases of the monthly service fee. Now, as I look around the room, there's only one person that I think has lived here longer than me. I've been here 14 years. And I have to say, I'm really disappointed. In those 14 years, my monthly service fees never increased more than 5%. For September, it's going to raise to 8.56%. Now, those of you that are relatively new, your monthly service fee is going to increase cost of living plus 2%. So if your monthly service increase, cost of living, and 2%, you're going to be in about the 10% increase come September for January. At the same time, if you take food out of the dining room, you're going to be penalized, fined $9. If you take out, you may be fined $2.50. If you continue to take it out, you may be fined $5. I'm really concerned about Regency Oaks. And I don't think I'm the only one. So we will try our best to work with management to try to keep the costs down. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Chet James, Chairman of the Health and Safety Committee. Our committee members are Jim Bader, John Bergman, Millie Diaz, Robin Graham, Susan Haverbeck, Karen Lee, John Myers, and Toby Shugart. The staff members are Leslie Haas and Chris Zankowitz, if I got that one out right. The big thing that we accomplished this last time was get out the dining and events policy was completed and published.
Can you hold
That-
the mic up, please?
The dining and events policy. That basically is to comply with the legal requirements that everybody has equal access to those events, regardless if we are a mobility issue, okay? It was approved by LCS and is now implemented. We also recommended the addition of some 6 or 7 stop signs on the property, mostly along the backside, where there used to be some stop signs that are not any now, as well as painting the curb on the entrance off of the main entrance to comply with the code. We've asked the stairwells to be identified where the north is and the south is not. That is approved by our committee. And the replacement of fire doors. There are a lot of them going to be replaced. We'll have to replace more of them to comply with the safety requirements that have been reviewed by the Regional Director of Safety for LCS. Those and the stop signs are capital projects that will have to be approved in the budget for this next year. And the fire alarm, the doors are going to have to be incorporated with the fire alarm system so that the doors will automatically close if the fire alarm goes off. That is an expensive project, okay, and it's gonna take, it may take a couple of years to get it done. That's all the news I have from the Health and Safety Committee. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And the next item on the agenda is approval of the proposed bylaws. And for an introduction, Judy will introduce her short little committee and explain what went on.
I'm Judy Studebaker. I chaired the subcommittee to revise the bylaws to bring them into compliance with Chapter 651 of the Florida statutes. Don Graham, who was Vice President of Operations for Dow Chemical Latin America, with responsibility for 9 pharmaceutical, chemical, and plastic plants. He could not be here today because of a scheduled medical appointment. Chet James, who is a graduate from Purdue University with an engineering degree, who was employed by IBM for many years in their missile program. He is also our resident expert on Chapter 651 of the Florida statute as it pertains to CCRCs. And he had many revisions because of the statute where we were not in compliance. And he kept coming up with more and more and more. And me, who was a legal secretary, not a lawyer, but someone who prepared many legal documents, including bylaws, and later was controller for a family-owned real estate development partnership in Northern Virginia and personally controlled millions of dollars. The committee realized there were many requirements of Statute 651 which were not included in the previous bylaws revision. After those were included, we decided the flow could be improved. After the current revisions were posted, 2 changes were included. Article 4, Section 1, the word staggered was restored because, as Gene Beagles pointed out, it wasn't likely but possible that we could have an entirely all-new 9-member board, and that would not be a very good thing. Also, Article 4, Section 2, Chet came up with something else that had to be added because of the statute. So the last sentence of that section was added to include a requirement of Section 651 that, quote, the elected president or his or her representatives will be the designated representatives of the board, unquote. The committee worked long and hard with more than 5 revisions before it was approved by your Board of Regency Oaks Residents Organization.
I'll accept a motion to approve the posted bylaws with the 2 changes.
I make a motion. Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the bylaws as posted with the 2 corrections. Any comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Either way. One more item, and then we'll be out of here in less than an hour. That's good. We're going to have a meeting on August 5th at 2 o'clock here in the town hall. And it's going to be what we're going to be calling the Regency Oaks Resident Association Wants to Know. Because we want to have additional feedback, because we got feedback with the survey that was done last year, and we'd like to have some current input, positive and negative, and in all departments. I mean, we've had a lot of discussion about dining in the past few weeks, but I mean, there's other things that we'd like to hear from all the residents. So it's not going to be an officially called meeting. We're just here to listen to what the residents have to say. So it's August 5th. I think that's a Friday. Yes, at 2 p.m. right here in the town hall.
No management.
No management will be here. Just us. So.
Come on down.
Any questions and answers, or any questions that we could maybe answer today?
I'd like to know, I'm Jean Hoffman, and I live in the South Building.
Here, go ahead.
Jean Hoffman, can you hear me? Yes. South Building, and last night I had my fourth air conditioning outage, and it was not fixed until 1 o'clock in the morning. And it's 4 times in this month. And each maintenance person is very polite. They reset it, they start it, they reset it, they go out. I know the ritual already, I could do it. But they were very concerned last night that my compressor wasn't going to come on. My question to the board is to give you feedback, and I'm not sure which gentleman or woman handles that. But that, to me, for me, with an 8.5% increase, is really intolerable. And if it's the new towers that are shorting, certainly we're a major facility here that they can get professional people to fix it.
What's your apartment number?
A307. My second issue, I think, is also with Don Hamilton, is that the pool, we were told at 2 meetings ago that Darwin was going to lock in the temperature of the pool room. I don't know about that. I was there last night. My question is the pool temperature, which went from 85 a few days ago to 90 yesterday. 90, I don't care what anybody says, is unhealthy and dangerous. Your heart beats, people like it warm for their arthritis, but I do think there is a moderate, doesn't have to be 85, but 87, 88. It's one of the things I look forward to coming here. And I've been here almost 14 years, and there's constant problems. Another issue, seems to me we keep putting Band-Aids on things and not getting to the source.
Well, the good news is I got a report from Eleanor Finn this morning who said the pool was perfect today, this morning. But they've been working on it because it was like 102
What
one
is
day.
perfect to her?
What's the temperature that everybody agreed on?
88.
88 degrees. Tony, you want to
Thank
pass the
you.
microphone?
I'd like to also talk about the air conditioning problem. At least 4 or 5 days this past days, 2 of my air conditioners, I have to reset every day. Brant said at a meeting yesterday that the South Building was fixed. Well, it is not fixed, and he was gonna have somebody check out the hallways because they're so hot.
Yes.
But I'm not understanding, I have 3 air conditioners, and 2 of them keep going off, and I have to and they'll go off during the day also, and I have to reset them. And it's just, one of them's brand new.
What's your apartment?
N402.
What I
If
have,
somebody's coming, I need an appointment, they need to call me.
okay. I have understood that some people are getting their thermostats replaced. That the problem is not the AC as much as the thermostat, but we'll have to check into that.
I'm not understanding what you said.
The thermostat, the piece that's on the wall,
Yeah, okay.
sometimes that goes bad.
They're telling us it's the tower.
Yeah.
Last night at 1 o'clock in the morning, they called in the North person, Nick, I think, with his little girl came in. And at 1 o'clock, he said the tower, some generators overheated.
Yes.
Now, I'm the only apartment on the A wing, 3rd floor, that goes out. None of my other neighbors, I must not be.
I can't solve it right today. We got the information and
All right.
we'll go right,
But I don't
Don
think-
knows where Darwin lives.
I don't think it's a thermostat.
Okay, it's one of the possibilities. Yes,
I had the same experience last night. My AC went out for a while. I went to bed, it was out, I turned it off, And then during the night, I got up and I turned it back on, and it was working again, but I'm at N502, and this is not acceptable, like you say, we're putting Band-Aids on it.
Yeah.
There's one right next to you. We're not ignoring you over here.
My air conditioner also went out last night. I woke up and I thought it was off. So I reset it myself. I can't understand why it keeps happening.
P509.
another department. A511.
We got a front row here.
Faster, faster.
I'm in P303, and for the last 3 months, periodically, the air conditioning just quits working, and I don't know it until I get up and look at the thermometer, or thermostat, and it says 78 degrees in there. I have discovered, I've put it in, but as far as I know, nobody's come to do anything about it. I've not been communicated with, and I've been trying to get hold of Darwin and or Arlie. What's his name?
Arlie, right.
And I can't make contact with them. Now, I have found that when it happens, I get up and look at the thermostat and it's high, so I shut it off. I let it sit for a couple hours, turn it back on, it takes right off and runs again for quite a long time, but it'll do it again. Now, we're leaving Sunday for at least 5 weeks, and I'm worried that something's gonna happen while we're gone.
Do you have a no entry?
No, we do not.
Okay, if you keep turning it in, they should be checking it.
Well, we're not here for 5 weeks.
Right.
Tony?
Yeah.
I got someone here.
Chris, this is looking
And P503, I know how to reset it, and I did, but this is the 4th time for ours too.
Wow.
Andrew, there's a microphone right
1,
there.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 so far. This is really
I've been having the
hard.
same problem for weeks now.
That's what I said.
I've been resetting
It's
it,
not the right lead.
got to the point where it's 4 times a day.
This is really
I've been
August
putting in
5th.
all these requests. Finally, Monday morning, Harley came and fixed it. He had to recharge my fan. That was what was wrong. But it had been weeks, where it's just, I walk into my apartment, it's hot, I turn it off, start it back up again. It was always hot in the morning. It's just, they're out of control, yeah.
I have after the meeting, let's give your apartment number to Don, and he'll take those requests to Darwin this afternoon.
Yes.
Okay. We'll get to them.
Well,
Are there any non-air conditioning questions? No?
Margaret, haven't you been writing them down?
Yes.
Yes, but we need
So
to
is Don.
double check them.
With that, I adjourn the meeting. Thank you for coming.